Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my fellow Geminis. This is going to be your May 2025 reading. This will be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising. I have a Gemini Moon. Um, those intuitively guided, thank you for paying attention to your intuition. It was probably your spirit guides who nudged you here. I read through our spirit guides, so um, I always know that the right people will show up. I just trust that now. I've been doing this for so long. I just trust that, if you're here, there's a reason why you're here. Some of you could certainly be in love with a Gemini, platonically, romantically. Same thing, your guides know you're here, and they will definitely be sending you messages. So, you know, first thing I would say is this is an intuitive read, so you really want to connect to your intuition. Sometimes you watch a reading and we use our earthly, our human ears, and our perception may not pick up exactly what the signs meant. And then we go back, let's say, whether right away or down the road, like something is just in your mind about the reading, you watch it again, but now you're listening with your spiritual ears. So you'll hear messages in a different way. I feel like it depends where you're at along your journey, because this is really for, anyone that's here. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get into your reading. So I did order a new deck of cards, which haven't ordered a new deck of a new deck of cards in a long time, and they are called Guardian Angel Messages. Um, first of all, they fit with the name, but I was just really drawn to them. So I'm using them in the month of May to really break them in. But this is probably the fourth or fifth time, and I'm already loving them. I hope you do too. All right, so when I ordered that deck, by the way, I also got a calendar, which I thought it was going to be like a wall calendar, but there is an affirmation for every single day. So I'm going to read for today. I know I am always safe in the universe, which fully loves and supports me. I know that I am always safe in the universe, which fully loves and supports me. Okay, put those over there. So we're going to use 4 different decks. We may end up using more though. Um, we'll give Mother Mary the honor of opening up our reading. We're going to use the major arcanas. They're like the new staple in a reading. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify. This is actually what I was looking for, was a new deck. Because I just love this deck to clarify. But I love the deck, period. So I thought I should find, another deck to use alongside this to clarify. But my attention got drawn to this deck. All right. So let me just go ahead and grab a drink of coffee. And you bring the lid down. All right. Let's open up your reading. Let's start with Mother Mary. For my beautiful Geminis and those intuitively guided, what messages do they need to hear? Well, there's a few. There's a few, Gemini. All right. Let's see. Interesting, Father. I just got this for, I think it was Taurus. My true Father is God in heaven, who shines healing light upon me, my birth father, and our relationship. Father. Inner child. I nurtured the child within me through playfulness and self-care. It's interesting. I'm wondering if like something's making me feel the connection between the two, like the father and the inner child. We have enthusiasm. Beautiful. Whatever I am most passionate about is the direction I flow. Some of you, that's your answer right there. Should I do this? Should I go that direction? Are you passionate about it? Is it really calling to you? And then quiet. Shh. Quiet. I go into peaceful silence and I listen. I go into peaceful silence and I listen. What are you listening for? Your spiritual guidance, your higher self, divine. Kind of talk about meditation. My son is, I'm a Virgo son, and we have a hard time like shutting our thoughts down. So meditation is a little difficult for me. Well, I mean, like a long meditation. But, anyways, so I go into peaceful silence and I listen. Enthusiasm, whatever I'm most passionate about, is the direction I flow. And I love the inner child right next to that because it makes me feel like, for some of you, it feels like an adventure. Like an adventure is opening up. Um, like all of a sudden, I feel excited. I feel excited for the future. Okay. We are not going to have room. Well, we'll try. Mm, no. Okay. We'll just remember. All right. Let's bring in the major arcanas. And for anyone that's new, first of all, welcome. Welcome to our beautiful soul family. I use these as really bullet points. Um, I just brought them into a reading one day, and I just realized the value they bring to a reading. Interesting, we have the Fool and the Empress. I'm not going to take them yet. Well, listen to me yet. Maybe they're coming back out. So the Fool, a new beginning, right? Taking a leap of faith, but the Empress right behind it. Well, there's the mother figure. We have the father. Well, I put him away, but we had the father figure. But he feels like the Empress is about to take a leap of faith. Well, the Empress is the perfect energy to take a leap of faith in because the Empress really believes in, universal energy, universal law. This is someone who is very creative, receives epiphanies a lot, as we all do. But this is someone who really, she's learned to really listen to them. She or he, by the way. Um, but I feel like if the Empress is taking this leap of faith, then chances are it's going to be successful. All right, so let's shuffle. Holy crap. Okay, I cannot take all them. I'm looking for 3 to 4, not 20. Okay, well, we got 5, but we're going to take them. We have judgment. So this is interesting because this is your spiritual team. Judgment is always calling you to the present moment because they're about to send you some signs. So interesting that we saw the Empress connected to the Fool. So something new is definitely opening up. When you see judgment, know that signs are going to follow. There's the Empress. She made her way out. Beautiful. See if she's still connected to the Fool. She is. Wow. So we were definitely meant to see this. We have the High Priestess. Beautiful. So the Fool is trusting their intuition. And then, wow, the Magician. Wow, powerful energy. You put the Empress and the High Priestess and the Magician together. This Fool has nothing to worry about. It's interesting how the Magician is looking back. The Judgment's also looking back, but I feel like they're looking back to get your attention, to bring you into the current moment. Remember, the Fool is in the current moment. Fool really is about clearing of the past. I feel like the little knapsack that the Fool carries is the wisdom of my experiences, but, learning to let go, learning to close chapters when they need to close. It's just the ebbs and flows of life. This is now starting something new. And, I have to tell you, what else is beautiful here is, when you think of tarot, we're really all the Fool. We're really all on the Fool's journey. And as the Fool begins this new journey, takes a leap of faith in something, which then opens up this new, let's say, chapter. The first mentors the Fool meets along his new journey is a magician. Magician tells the Fool, you possess everything you need to truly be successful on this next journey. The High Priestess is the next mentor, and the High Priestess teaches the Fool, I am your GPS. Use me in this lifetime. Just like you would use your GPS in your car. Well, that's what I am. I'm here to help guide you. And then Judgment, right? Your whole spiritual team, but they're calling you to the present moment. It feels like you're ready. Like, holy cow, what you been doing, Gemini? You've been clearing some energy. Some of you, I feel like you're learning to put yourself first again. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way. You have to, if you're not happy, then the people around you won't be happy, so to speak. Some of you could certainly be a single mother or a single father. So, I feel like wherever the Fool is taking us, with the Fool's greatest mentors being right there, like right at the Fool's back, like I go along this journey with you. The Empress is looking right at me, so it's like she is in the current energy. She's got this beautiful bounty on her lap. So, can you create that? Absolutely. I feel like that's exactly what it's talking about. And Judgment right before the Empress. Remember that the Empress has learned through her experiences to keep her heart open, to not close her heart down. Doesn't even mean that she's looking for love, but this is someone that, if the right person comes along, then she would probably say yes. But the thing with the Empress, though, is, I feel like we all have that energy in us. It's when we reach it. It is when we're able to close old doors, sweep out the past, get rid of the cobwebs, and truly go after, your dreams. You have a right to be happy in your life. Okay, well, that didn't want to come up. Two Pentacles. Some of you may be in a question mode right now, but I want to give them a shuffle first. That was beautiful shuffle. I have to say, the only thing I don't love about this deck is it's so big. I like it because you can definitely see it on camera much better, but it's hard for my little hands to handle. All right, I'm actually going to slide this over just a little bit. All right. Sure. It's like your whole reading wanted to come out together. All right, we have the Six of Pentacles, charity, generosity, windfall. Hmm. We have the Knight of Fire, the Knight of Wands, confident, passionate, adventuresome, adventurous. It's exactly what I felt. It's right under the Empress. It's almost like a fire underneath her. Confident, yes, she's confident. Passionate, yes, she's passionate. Interesting with the Six of Pentacles right before that, because to me the Six of Pentacles is that fine art of give and take. And sometimes, we give more than we receive. And, sometimes that's okay. But sometimes it's not okay. But I do find it interesting that it's saying a windfall and then the Knight of Wands. So this Empress may be getting like some real epiphanies to create. Like this is giving her the energy, the passion, the desire. Hmm. Hmm. Eight of Swords. Jeez. Okay, under the Fool says self-doubt, confusion, free will. Well, it says free will because this is a self-created energy. This is a human energy. This is where, it's really called a self-created prison. This is where I put blocks up, walls around me, trying to protect myself from probably pain. You know, that's something you have to ask yourself, but it really doesn't serve you. The Empress and the Eight of Swords don't fit together. So I have a feeling someone has freed themselves. Again, self created prison. So the only person who can free themselves is the one who's created this prison. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of reasons why, but what it feels like is where you're heading, there's no need for this. Allowing yourself to have this new beginning because it is coming right under the Fool. So it's interesting. I feel like you must have broken yourself free, or you're about to. Maybe there's something that's coming towards you. Maybe it's a windfall. Um, but I feel like there's something. It's interesting because just look at the weather where she's at. It's cold. She's got a big, heavy winter coat on. It's like I feel like she's let her heart go cold. She can't be happy. It's a him in the picture, but there's no way they're happy in that energy. Yes, you may feel protected, but I feel like that's an illusion. Like those walls, they don't really block anything. I feel like we just think they block. Okay, well let's keep going. We have the Page of Cups, so very much like the inner child that Mother Mary brought out. Sensitive, open-hearted, intuitive. Well, hello, right below the High Priestess. We have Five of Swords. Okay, so Five of Swords is why the Eight of Swords is created. Looking right back at it. Mistakes, melodrama, resentment, no, reassessment. So maybe that's why we saw the Two of Pentacles, where some of you may have been in a question mode. Like, first of all, the Five of Swords is, well, I want to say other people's toxicity, but sometimes it can be our own thoughts. We could have listened to like some bad advice. Someone could have just not been great with their communication, and we took it on like in our inner child. Five is always about change. And I feel like the only thing that I would want to change here so far would be the Eight of Swords. Okay? We have Justice. Dun 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 dun. Card of Libra. Fairness, the law, karma. Under the Six of Pentacles. And then, well, hello, beautiful star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. See what it says. Inspiration, fulfillment, faith. Mirroring the Empress with the Knight of Wands in between them. It makes sense that justice is here. Now, whether it's cutting ties with someone or whether it's like your own thought system, maybe you are single. And maybe that's just the way you want it right now. Like, I never try to talk you into anything you don't want. I feel like the readings are just showing you the potential of what can be, but it's always going to be up to you, right? If I don't uncreate this prison, well, then I'm stuck there. And what I want you to think about, if you are in that energy, is we are in the last year of a 9-year cycle. It's ending, and we're opening up a brand new cycle, a brand new 9 years. It's going to be the year of the Magician. We're moving from the year of the Hermit. So this is the year to really make some decisions. What is it I want to bring along? What is it I don't want to bring along? I feel like if you had a hard time taking chances on yourself, this is the time, because the energy is definitely backing you. I feel like, yes, this sword, it's cutting ties. It may be cutting ties to a person, but I do feel for some of you, it's like in the thought system, because I feel like the Page of Cups, I do feel like it's your inner child. So someone hurt that inner child. And it kind of feels like it came through like, not good communication. But here's the thing. This is about you again. This is about your dreams. This is about what you want to manifest. You have the Magician. Where do you want to go? What adventure do you want to take? You have the Fool, right? You have the High Priestess that will help guide you. So when I feel like your dreams or certain dreams can become your reality, I really mean it here. Well, I always, if I say it, I mean it. Okay. By the way, Stars card of Aquarius. I have a feeling I have a couple Aquariuses here. Like, hello, that's our card. I'm gonna take them just like they came out. The one thing about these cards is they don't want to stay in place. I imagine the more we use them, the more they will. Okay. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Look at this, 88. Education, focus, details. Eight of Pentacles, it's a great energy, especially when we started out where it was talking about a windfall, a potential windfall coming your way. I also want to say it's interesting we have justice right below that and karma, because some of you could have certainly like have been in a karmic lesson, and the lesson could have simply been like not to create these walls, not to like allow yourself to be stuck or not take chances. And if you're not, it definitely feels like it has something to do with the past. Eights are about a new beginning, and it's the Fool is opening this line up. So here in the Eight of Swords, I probably won't. In the Eight of Pentacles, I will. Eight of Pentacles is really about creating whatever it is you want to create. It's your creativity, it's your work. To me, the Eight of Pentacles is the willingness to go into something brand new. Um, and just know, because I often feel like the reason, it can talk about like starting a business or starting a new job. A side hustle becomes your main hustle. You can do whatever you want in this Eight of Pentacles. That's what it tells you. If you focus on it, you're going to grow it. So I feel like there's maybe a few of you may have a fear that you want to start something, but you may think, I don't know if I know everything I need to know. Well, that's what the Eight of Pentacles talks about. The willingness to go into something as the apprentice. And if you put your focus on it, you will be called, at least I would call you the master teacher. But it all starts with you, your focus, and allowing yourself to have this new beginning. So I feel like I feel like eventually you'll uncreate that prison. But I feel like for others, it's like, it's go time. I also love it sitting right next to the star. All right, look at this, another eight. 888. Three eights. That's got to be a special message. Searching, empowerment, fulfillment. You know, this is probably an important energy to have here right now because we have the Eight of Swords. So this means that one has really dealt with their emotional life. They're not taking on other people's limited viewpoints. This is you finding emotional clarity, and this is you moving on. This person is heading towards the Nine of Cups, which is inner fulfillment. And I feel like for some of you, that's what you've been seeking. But it's within you. That's the thing. It's within you. And then we have Seven of Wands under the Five of Swords. Challenge, determination, resistance. I feel like Seven of Wands is, well, first of all, it's about standing your ground. And yes, that's important. But you also have to know, like, what am I standing my ground against? Is it, let's say that this is talking about a relationship. Um, it would be very difficult because I feel like number one, what's ever happening here, I feel like the communication is bad. Whether we're just missing each other's signs, we're reading it wrong, or the energy itself is just, well, difficult. In the Seven of Wands, I feel like I'm putting out other people's fires. Like one after another, I put out one fire, another fire begins. Well, it's mirroring justice. So you can see how something of the past is playing a major role in right now. I know not for everyone, because just from the top line, I feel like there's evolution, there's, what's the word I'm looking for? Transformation. This is a time when dreams are meant to come true. They're meant to come true for you. You. You may have a few new beginnings, and sometimes I feel like one new beginning opens up something else, which opens up something else to the point where it's like, holy cow, my life looks completely different, but different in a good way. Especially if we can get rid of these swords, but that's what justice is here for. Use this sword. I feel like the sword of justice, like the high priestess and the magician, they're gifts that we were given to use on this earthly plane. That sword, it's like the knowing that there are going to be chapters that just end. But that means a new chapter is ready to begin at the same time. And if I'm not so happy where I'm at, well then, hello, new chapter, welcome it in. Okay, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Oh, well, first of all, hello, Will. Your destiny, luck, progress, change. This is like all the different versions of you. I'm going to tell you a story, and please don't judge me. But when I was, I don't know, 17, um, and remember, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. I remember going to, they called them rec dances. And don't get mad at me, but I did a hit of acid. And so I'm at this rec dance, and something is like, I had to get out of there. I had to get out of there. So I did. And I went home, and there was nobody home. And I'm sitting on the edge of my bed. And on my closet door is a full length mirror. So I'm sitting at the edge of the bed looking in the mirror, and I kept seeing, like, I had conversations with different versions of myself. Like, one, I was a police officer, one, I was a doctor. And, when I think about it now, like, I really think that I was meeting different sides of myself. So that's why I'm bringing that up. But don't judge me. I don't do that anymore. Um, Hello, Nine of Pentacles. So this Nine of Pentacles connected to your wheel. Well, this is successful self-employment. Doesn't have to be self-employment, but it's your ideas, it's your epiphanies, it's your work. You are the one who reaps the benefits. Contentment, luxury, independence. That's what I love about the Nine of Pentacles, is you feel strong on your own 2 feet. And some of you, that may have been what the journey has been about, or this journey that's coming out. It's like to give you this sense of independence. You have the Eight of Pentacles. So again, that willingness to take these epiphanies, whatever they may be, take a chance. And then this talks about, well, that windfall. Well, that's what you're doing in the Nine of Pentacles. You are reaping the benefits. It's like you're reaping the harvest of your work. Not everyone's going to believe in you. It's just the way it is. I don't know where that came from, but all of a sudden I felt that like some just are just naturally, I don't know. Well, I feel like they just don't get you. Like someone, it feels like someone just doesn't get you. Maybe they don't get your spiritual journey you're on. And boy, are you on a spiritual journey. But I gotta know when to fold them. I gotta know when to hold 'em. I gotta know when to walk away. I gotta know when to run. Kenny Rogers. So funny, Kenny Rogers and I only had one husband, but um, he looked just like Kenny Rogers. He still looks like Kenny Rogers. I mean, I haven't seen him in a while, but that's my kid's dad. All right. So we're going to start at the beginning, but we are going to read it as a whole. I want to say with the star card here, the magician, the fool, the high priestess, judgment, the empress. Man, this just feels like a great time. This feels like the ability to truly create the life that you want for yourself, even if you're just beginning. Remember the fool. All is being asked of the fool is to take that leap, right? Have that faith. All right, interesting. We have the Ten of Wands, but in reverse. Beautiful. I'll tell you why I think that's beautiful because I feel that there was something you're involved in where all the responsibility feels like it was on your shoulders. Now, with it being reversed, though, it's like I feel like you're not taking it anymore. Like, I'm very happy to see the Ten of Wands in reverse. In the upright, it's either like a ton of responsibility. It's you carrying the weight of everything. Now, if it's regarding a relationship, well, that's not fair, right? And it's coming over the Six of Pentacles, which is that fine art of give and take, and justice right below it. So I feel like the majority of you do use that sword, and that's what turns this Ten of Wands around. You know, that is great news. Oh my. Eight of Swords again. Seven of Wands over the Eight of Swords. Interesting. And then the Knight of Wands over the Page of Cups. How interesting. I feel like for some of you, like your ideas, it almost feels like writer's block, but, in whatever you're doing, like it feels like there's been a block to the ability for you to manifest your wishes. But listen, you're part of the reason why they're not manifesting. Again, that Eight of Swords. So even though it's coming over the Knight of Wands, passion, and then the Seven of Wands over that Eight of Swords, well, the Seven of Wands is under the Five of Swords here. You can see how this energy just doesn't serve you. I feel like that's what judgment is saying to you. Please find a way to break yourself free, from any limited ideas. Know that you can really create. You have the power, you have the energy behind you. I feel like there's a need to remind you that you are a spiritual being having human experiences. I say that because I feel like you're so much stronger than maybe, and I don't feel like this is for everyone. Well, I feel like everyone is strong, but I feel like some need to know that you're so much stronger than you're giving yourself credit for. Again, it feels like past energy that really played a number. But I feel like your spiritual team is saying Don't allow it to affect you anymore. Break yourself free from that. Know that, some people are not worth fighting for. Some things are not worth fighting for. Don't get caught in drama because I don't feel like it'll serve you because this is the opposite of that. This is believing in yourself. This is following your intuition. This is manifesting whatever the Empress wants to manifest with the help of our beautiful spiritual team. But you know what I think is interesting? Because the Eight of Swords is coming over the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is coming over the Eight of Swords. I feel like it's saying that this passion that this knight brings, it's coming no matter what. Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. And that's what the person in the Eight of Swords is trying to do, hide. But not, you know what I mean, like not hide, but this passion, this whatever this knight is bringing in, it's still coming, whether I break myself free or not. Interesting. That's probably why I felt like some are going to say no and some are going to say yes. I want to say that I feel like some of you, again, it feels like that writer's block, but I feel like that's being lifted. So, you know, trust in the signs that you receive, especially now. I mean, really always. But I feel like there's a need to trust your spiritual team more than ever, over even yourself. They know your soul's desires and they want to help you manifest those soul's desires, but they can't come in between you and your free will. And the Eight of Swords is free will. Okay, let's keep going. Um, but with the Ten of Wands opening up that line in reverse, I do feel like a lot of you, listen, maybe this reading is going to help. But some of you, I do feel you have moved past that. And you are, oh, look at this. Beautiful Knight of Pentacles. Wow. This is great to see when you also have the Star card. Two knights in a row. Both of them connected to the Magician and the High Priestess. Another reason why you want to listen to your intuition. Literally, it's telling you that you're going to feel this passion. Again, whatever it may mean, it's not being very clear yet, but maybe that's just the way it's meant to be. And then we move into the Knight of Pentacles. Well, that is guardian angel energy. The Knight of Pentacles asks for a couple things. Number one, patience, right? I come at the right time. This knight brings a pentacle into your life. This is meant to truly enhance your life. It also means that it's something that's tangible. It's coming into your physical life. Some of you, it could be more money. Again, using your ideas and going with them. You never know where it's going to lead. Listen, when I started tarot, I knew nothing. I just started. And now I would call myself a master teacher. But the only reason I call myself that is because my spiritual team calls me that. But anyway, so the Knight of Pentacles, beautiful, supportive energy that lets you know when I come in, it is the right time. I don't come before, though. So, coming over the Five of Swords, change, that seems to be the answer. And I also love that it's mirroring the Ten of Wands in reverse. Again, that would be the perfect time. Okay, that's really beautiful. It's like some of you, maybe you have been paying us some type of karma. Don't regret it and don't get stuck in it. If you've been paying, like, and karma is, like we create karma, and there's good karma and there's not so good karma. Like let's say that we were a real asshole in our past life. Well, then chances are we're going to meet some real assholes in this lifetime. But let's say you're someone who has been caring and loving, not perfect because no one's perfect. Well, then that to me is creating good karma, wanting to help others. But you got to know who to help, and who's taking advantage of you. Number one, the Knight of Pentacles wouldn't have shown if you weren't ready for it. Three of Cups. Well, that's a reason to celebrate. And it's following the Knight of Pentacles. Again, guardian angel energy. I come at the right time. What I bring you can truly enhance your life, probably beyond your wildest imaginations. When you let spirit and you, or let me put it a different way, when you walk hand in hand with your spiritual team, you're going to have many reasons to celebrate because they're going to guide you. Again, they know your soul's desires. All right. We have the King of Pentacles. Interesting. We have the King of Swords. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Interesting. So the King of Swords or the King of Pentacles is coming over your wishes. King of Swords feels, could certainly be you. Um, I also want to say it could be also a potential job offer for some. And then we move into the Queen of Wands. Well, this is my Queen of Action. This is someone who does follow her desires. And what did it say on that calendar? I know I am always safe in the universe, which fully loves and supports me. Something made me want to look at that again. That's what I feel about this queen. Like, I move according to my passions. I think about it later. But I feel like, she's able to do that now. And I love the Knight of Wands right above her. I do feel like it's you, unless unless you know who this queen is. But honestly, I feel like it's you. And I feel like it's you taking action, following a whim. In the Knight of Pentacles, bringing something in. Not only that it's going to enhance your life, but you're going to celebrate it. So we will come back and look at the people. But let's keep going. I also want to say, Gemini, just be careful. Or just think about this. If you're dealing with someone, where there's a lot of aggression, drama, hurtful words, bad communication. You know, I mean, nobody can make you make a change but you. You have all these eights with the devil in reverse. Interesting. So the devil talks about temptations. Kind of feels like maybe I had been tempted to someone or something, but now it's in reverse. Well, that makes sense with the Knight of Pentacles saying I come at the right time. Is card of Capricorn, by the way. You know, one of the things the devil is great at is casting illusions, making us feel stuck when we're really not. All we need to do is take one leap of faith, and that's what will open up the rest. Some of you could have been tempted to a person over and over again. All right, well, let's go below. Someone certainly, it feels like someone gave someone a lot of chances. You know, but the truth of the matter is, I feel like the majority of you have already cleared this energy. And if you haven't, it's kind of like a roadmap of how you can. At least it's giving you things to think about. You know, but think about it in a way like not fear based. Think about, you know, am I living life according to my terms? You know, the Empress is of a high vibration, and she never lowers her vibration to be with another. Doesn't mean she won't help someone of a lower vibration. She certainly will if she knows it will lift them. But she's not going to give just to anyone. So even though she's loving and nurturing, she's very powerful and strong, and her power came from her experiences and the things that she's overcome. Do I think at one time she was in the Eight of Swords? I do. And I feel like she has learned how to overcome that, not to take on other people's words or actions, you know, or other people saying you can't, you won't. Here is the star. And I feel like, oh, yes, you will, if you so choose. I also find it interesting that the deck we're using is called Guardian Angel Messages. And then your guardian angel literally comes out in the reading. We have, well, hello, Ten of Pentacles. You know, there's something big going on with your money, Gemini. Like something big. And it may have all started with one idea. And then you decided to focus on that idea. And then you go to the Nine of Pentacles. Well, there's that independent success. And now the Ten of Pentacles. I don't feel like you're alone in the Ten of Pentacles. But we'll see. Let's keep going. We have, interesting, the Page of Pentacles under the King of Pentacles. So it's like the younger version of this king. Page of Pentacles is about what you're learning along this path. It is about learning and growing. But I do feel like some of you, this King of Pentacles is, you know, you may not even know who this king is yet. Though I do feel like we are seeing the younger version of them. And just the Pentacles is like, wow. Okay. Hello, Knight of Cups. Hello, unexpected couple fulfillment. And it can be multiple things. Normally, it speaks about love, and it is unexpected. That's the thing. It's unexpected. But with the Knight of Pentacles here, it would tell me that you would be ready for it, that you would welcome it. Let me put it that way. Coming under the King of Swords, but it's also mirroring the Fool. So some of you, listen, I feel like your money looks fantastic. I feel like wherever you've had blocks, they're going to be lifted. And I feel like there's definitely signs to help you grow, you know, your ideas into like real abundance. Like we cannot forget that. But now, here comes love. Unexpected. And with the Empress, it can't just be anyone. We have, interesting, the Five of Swords. We have the Seven of Cups. And then we have Temperance. Temperance is about divine timing. It is an energy of patience. It's interesting because the first thing I would say is this, if this is about, for some of you, someone that you already know, and, maybe they needed to have some growth in their life. Well, it feels like it's happened. Now, if this, and it's coming over your wish. So I know for some of you, this is what you're wishing. But the only thing I would say is, you don't have to go from A to Z because it's really all about the journey, not the final destination. But play our cards right in the final destination. Well, first of all, hello, House of Abundance. And it's not just someone else's money, it's your money and it's your will. How interesting, the Page of Swords, because I was thinking to myself, with the King of Swords, I'm like, watch the Page of Swords come out. But it didn't, but here it is. And then look what's underneath that, the Ace of Cups. And coming over, transformation. So someone could have certainly had a transformation. These could be the things that are hidden, but yet will be. I just want to know why that Five of Swords came up because it doesn't feel like it fits. So tell me more about the Five of Swords. Oh my. Two Cups and the Ace of Swords. Okay, well, hello, soulmate. Hello, communication. Okay, so if, because I feel like there's two scenarios here. I feel like because we have the devil, but in reverse, I feel like at one time I was tempted to certain type of energy, maybe drama. I don't know, maybe I liked it for a while, but it didn't serve me. I feel like if anyone's coming back who, let's just say, maybe they're the ones who caused you to create the Eight of Swords. But again, it's over your wishes. And then, boom, here comes the Knight of Cups. And then the Soulmates. So this can be someone who's coming back. But I feel like if they're coming back, well, I feel like there's probably nothing to worry about. Um, but there's a difference here. There's a growth with the person I feel like is coming back. Real growth. I feel like they would have to match your vibration, and I feel like they know that. They know that. I feel like some of them could have been connected to another, and you may have said to them to be with me, you need to be free. Because I feel like you're looking at life in a much more all is possible. You are trusting your energy. And listen, that's a big thing. When you really learn to trust your intuition and not second guess it, well, I don't feel like it will steer you wrong. Now, if someone's coming back and let's say you do have a little worry over that. Take your time. The Fool is just taking a leap. He's not committing himself to anything. He's just like, I feel like I want to go this direction. But the Ace of Swords would be some type of communication. I do feel like the Ace of Swords is truth. And with Temperance here, which talks about divine timing, it kind of feels like because you have evolved, then it's important that anyone be in your life is also of that vibration. And if they're not, let them fade away. But this is a soulmate. Now, I don't feel like that's going to be for everyone, someone coming back. Soulmate is mirroring the high priestess. What is that? Five of Swords coming over. Oh, the Eight of Cups. Okay. So emotional clearing. So maybe that Five of Swords is the past. It really has nothing to do with what's coming in. I do want to say that I feel like whoever, let's just say that you're going to be with, if you choose next, I feel like this is someone who, not that, we're like out looking for someone who's got a lot of money, but I definitely feel like this is someone who's secure within their finances. Like, I feel that 100%. When I think of the King of Pentacles in the upright, I do think loyalty. Now, doesn't always have to, doesn't mean this person was always loyal, but it's something that is deep within them. So I feel like when they're with, well, their soulmate, I do feel like they're very loyal. I feel like whatever this king had to learn, he did. And it is kind of like you're combining your finances. And that's what's creating the Ten of Pentacles. I want to take just the Knight of Cups and the Two of Cups. I guess we should add the Ace of Cups in with that. By the way, the Ace of Cups, or the Ace of Swords, it's my yes card. So I just want to look at that. Just give me some more information on this, please. Hello, Sun. First of all, Sun is masculine energy. The Sun is your illumination. When the Sun comes out, nothing can hide. No darkness can hide. There's nowhere to hide. This is to help illuminate you. Remember, Mother Mary said, let your inner child come out and play? Well, the Sun is very playful, almost childlike energy. Nothing to fear here. Also card Leo, by the way. Or it's Leo's ruler. We have the Emperor. Okay, well, hello, Empress. And even the way it's falling, the Empress, Two Cups, the Emperor. Well, there is your like-minded energy. There is your same vibrational energy. You know, the Emperor means a few different things. Number one, father figure. This person could be a father. But the Emperor and the Empress really have the same goals in mind, but they go about them differently, but they really are very much aligned. They both care about their fellow man and woman. They both have had a lot of experiences. And I'm not talking you had to live a long life. I just mean, like, you know, you've gone through it and overcome it. You know, it's like the emperor's holding these degrees in his hands, like, I overcame this, I overcame that. You know, I get this song. I don't even know the song because I'm not really a big country fan. I mean, I like some country, but there's one song that's popping in my head right now, and I'm probably going to say it's just called Better Man. Like, I'm a better man. Now, of course, it could be the other way around. I'm a better woman. I feel like they're both better. Sun, bringing out the Emperor. The Emperor under the Two of Cups. The Empress. You know how I love the Emperor and the Empress in the same reading, especially. Well, it not just in love, but let me tell you something. These two could collaborate and create like abundance. Don't forget how I felt like number one, money was coming your way, but it's coming because of you, your ideas, your willingness to take that thought and put it into action, at least follow it. You know, sometimes you get an epiphany and all you're meant to do is follow that. You know, like you might find videos and you're like, oh, I'd like to do that. Well, then try it. You just never know how successful that you really can be. You know, I feel like they're definitely healers. They definitely want to help heal other people. And they are the best of healers because they've been through it. You know, we see these two Eights of Swords. Each one of them may have had to overcome. We see two Seven of Wands. So again, each of them probably had to overcome. We have two Five of Swords. But then, as people, we have the highest vibration of all, the Emperor and the Empress. Anything else want to come out with that? Come on out. Come out now. Look at this, the Three of Swords in reverse. Hello. The end of a broken heart. The end of the pain. Sure, it's the end of a chapter and the beginning of a new. I mean, you want to talk about healing. Well, it's like you're healing each other. That Three of Swords in reverse, I feel like that's fantastic. This person doesn't mean you any harm. That's for sure. This person's coming in the light. And, some of you may say, well, how do I know I won't get my heart broken again? Nobody can guarantee that because of free will. But if you think about their vibration, and again, how I just felt like this king was very loyal, and it may have been something I had to learn. I can't have everything I want all the time, and what I really want, I don't get because of, my selflessness. Okay, let's take the clarifying love situations over this. It's like, let's not deny what we're seeing. And by the way, again, I feel the majority of you are already in the Empress's or the Emperor's energy. Um, and it's been a process, it has been a process. But again, remember, the chapters are meant to end and new chapters are meant to begin. Think about this as like writing your own book. It can't all be good because who would read it? Right? It's those twists and turns, those ebbs and flows. That's where the interesting parts of a book lie. Well, this is your story. How do you want to write it? Trusted ties. Build rapport, believe in mutual respect, and respond with understanding. Trusted ties. Build rapport, believe in mutual respect. And listen, that's exactly what the Emperor and the Empress do. They definitely respect each other. Temporal bonds. In the realms of flighty bonds, true connections waver but endure. Wow. That could be for someone, the ones that I felt like this person of the past is coming back. But again, I want to make sure you understand that this person has evolved. They have grown, just like I feel you have. All right, we'll see. Okay, we'll take that. In a fog, fear, obligation, or guilt makes you stay. Get clarity. Well, I feel like your clarity is in this reading. All right, I'm going to pick these up and I am going to bring out the romance angels. I mean, I feel like I have to. I mean, I really don't have to. It's already telling you that it's a soulmate energy. It totally makes sense. The Emperor and the Empress. The Knight of Pentacles is like promising you that I'm bringing something into your physical world. It's looking right at the Knight of Wands, so it's passion filled. You know, it's also action oriented, but you'll feel it. And then the Fool is just like, just simply take a step. And I love that the Fool's greatest mentors are right there. All right. Very soon. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Very soon. Well, Knight of Pentacles, I come at the right time. Temperance, trust in divine timing. I feel like it's Temperance who is making sure that both the soulmates' cups are equally filled. Equally. Very soon. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when it comes for you? And it's coming. This is a great time to really think about this clearly, decide what you want so that it comes to you now. This is what this year is about. I'm not taking any more bullshit. I'm not letting people just put me down. I'm not going to take it on. I'm going to believe in my ideas, my epiphanies, my path. And I'm going to be open to whatever lies out there, what's ever meant to find me, and me find it. And, you know, number one, abundance, but it's coming because of you. But then I also feel that this love, I just love the idea of them collaborating together. It may not be something that they instantly think of, but because I feel like they're so like minded, they're different, and different by the Empress is more goes by the seat of her pants, where the Emperor is someone who's much more methodical, puts plans in place, and both are right, and they ultimately have the same goal in mind. So I love them coming together. Like to me, this is the perfect person to like tell them what I'm thinking and get their opinion and vice versa because I feel like they think like you think. So they could certainly help you. But same both directions, by the way. The star mirroring the Empress. Judgment. You have two cards that speak of patience, but then judgment speaks of present moment energy. So I feel like patience is behind us, and this is more action oriented energy. Again, think of the year of the Hermit, which we're in, but you don't have to be in reflection all year long. Like, know what you want and know what you don't want. And then just put those intentions out there. And then put your energy in you. And I'm just telling you, the rest will find you. You will find it. It'll just open up for you. And anyone who doesn't believe me that love comes in unexpected ways, just think of your own life. Like, I can't think of one love that I planned. It just happens. And these soulmates, which again, temperance has a big part in that, making sure that they're both equally filled. And I love that the three swords came in reverse. It feels like it takes any fear away. So, when it says very soon, that's what Judgment's speaking of. This was a very, very abundant reading. Yes, there is some hardship, but I feel like the majority of you have moved beyond. I feel like walls have come down. I see the synchronicities between two. There may be two who were connected to others, and enough was enough. I don't feel like the Emperor or the Empress, they could be in a relationship, but I feel like if they are, well, I was gonna say I don't feel like it's, maybe where they want to be. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If that's the case, then I feel like this love is strong enough for to help whoever needs this help. And I almost wish I didn't bring that up because I feel like I just took some of the beauty away. Again, the sun, it's your illuminator. It'll make sure that everything is clear to you. You know, if there's red flags, but I feel like that's exactly why the Three of Swords came in reverse because there won't be red flags. Now, if you feel like you're still in the Eight of Swords, then there could be red flags. But honestly, now that I'm done with this reading, I feel like it's more about the synchronicities of two people and the experiences that they've gone through. They feel very similar. But both of them, it's like they've taken lemons and made lemonade. Got the best lemonade out there. Like, ooh, munch, munch. All right, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. Because I feel a lot of this is about you making your decisions, asking yourself, are you happy? You have all the energy supporting you of making these changes. You have so many eights. So, new beginnings. But remember, it's also the number of infinity. You're never alone. Your spiritual team, listen, they know your soul's desires, but they also know that certain soul desires need a certain vibration. Because otherwise, what's the sense? Right? It would just fall apart. These two people, I feel like they know what they want. They're very clear. And I'm not talking about like what they look like or anything. I'm talking about the type of energy they carry. And I feel like you're just naturally going to be attracted to each other. And listen, your spiritual team is really what's directing all this. Your guardian angel is pulling it all together for you. And then temperance, divine. Divine. Nine of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles. Unexpected cup of love. It's a soulmate who speaks the truth. And that's important, especially to a Gemini. All right, guys, I'm going to let that be. Wow. It's like there's so much abundance in this reading. Yeah, there's a little bit of a little issues, but issues that we can overcome. That's the thing. Everything where there seems to be a block, we have the ability to unblock ourselves. We just have to be willing. That's all. We have to be the fool. Phew, what a reading. Thank you, Gemini. I love you guys. Um, I know not everybody stays to the end, which I kind of feel sad because this is where the beauty is at. This is, I feel like this is how our readings are. We have to see like where our blocks are at. How can we free ourselves from those? How can we really, truly make dreams come true? There is nothing that's unlimited to you, but you have to be willing to take a step into it. And that's all I feel like, just a step. And, this is one of those years you'll be looking back and be like, 2025 was one of the best years of my life. Why? Well, because I really got focused on my creativity, on my money, and I'm seeing tremendous growth in a business. Whatever it may be for you, you are seeing tremendous growth within your money, but also within love. So, you know, it's just going to be one of those years. And I even love the magician who does represent 2026. So, this is not something that's like temporary. This is something that I feel like is probably going to last the rest of your life. Okay. Thank you guys. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.